Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. And we're guesting today with Tim Smith, the Mayor of St. Albans, Exec Director of the Franklin County Industrial Development Corp. Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
Good. I should know we're taping this show on Tuesday, September 17. Well, I guess I'll start with just some more lousy news. We get occasional lousy news. We've lost some very good people, and Leonard Perrin just got the news yesterday about Leonard's death, just a little over 2 months after his wife Diane's death. But boy, talk about someone who left his mark on Franklin County. I got to think Franklin County's most prolific photographer. And I almost can't imagine anybody. How many thousand, maybe tens of thousands of photos did Leonard take? I mean, every school kid in the county probably knows Leonard.
I didn't think you were going down that road. I thought you were going to go with the most prolific storyteller.
No, that's maybe should have started with that. But I mean, what a great
both
guy.
of them. He could tell.
Leonard was a talker. He could talk.
He could tell a story like no one else. And yes, he did all the sports photos and school photos and.
In fact, another one I remember, Jennifer Bright mentioned this to me this morning, his famous, St. Albans City Centennial, 1996, if I got the right year, the overhead photo of just tons of people on Taylor Park.
Yeah.
That was a great photo. Am I off on the year?
86, I think.
Oh, is it? I'm off maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 86.
But a great photo.
Yeah, no, he was well known throughout Franklin County. I mean, his roots originally were in Enosburg, right?
Enosburg, maybe Berkshire, but that area.
Yeah, but he was, and then he did his radio gig with WWSR.
Of course, I logged time with him at the radio station. Yeah, we were together for several years at the radio station. He was a morning guy, but
I remember the spoof he used to do. He'd have the helicopter in the background doing traffic control stories that he'd make up on 105 or 104 or whatever, the Route 7, etc. But he was. He was, and I use the word character in a good sense.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he was a character, and people really enjoyed being with Leonard for sure.
And I would give, in addition to being a good friend, gave Leonard a ton of respect. I didn't have the toughest upbringing in affluent Hingham, Massachusetts, suburban Boston, pretty soft upbringing, but Leonard's a bit of a hard scrabble upbringing, and I give him a ton of credit for just, having a great life with, having to work his way up. In fact, I guess we both got our media start on the County Courier. I think for right? Bun O'Shea, just like Bun and Christopher got me going up here almost 50 years ago. But I think Leonard was doing some sports for the Courier, which was, I think, his first kind of media newspaper stuff. But so just a huge loss.
Yeah, no, it's sad. Just the summer that the Parent family have had.
Yeah,
difficult for the kids, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Just read. I was just scanning again some nice ink in Vermont Business Magazine, the September issue on. I guess they do a county in each issue. They do a county.
They do, yes.
And Franklin County was chronicled. Yourself getting some good ink. Timothy McQuiston. I see him on TV. Never met him, but sounds like a very solid
nice
reporter.
Guy. I've through the years we crossed paths at different events, and he's. I have a good relationship. Yeah,
but so Franklin County, with maybe your FCIDC hat here for a second. Beta Technologies, is there much going on at the old Energizer?
Yeah,
site?
No, they've totally refurbished the space that they're in. You would never have thought, as well as it was kept up by Energizer.
Yeah,
Beta has taken it 10 times better.
Really,
everything's painted, the floor is done. I mean, just the quality of the work and the amount of work they invested in the building is quite impressive, to say the least.
Interesting.
So that's where their focus has been. They did, I believe, but they would fall under phase 1 and phase 2, and they've invested millions into the building. So
really, wow.
It's always good from a economic development perspective. It's always good to have that investment, whether it's in infrastructure or buildings, building new buildings. When businesses invest in the community, that signals more of a long-term relationship and stay.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
And down the road, how many employees are we possibly talking?
You know, the numbers I remember, I think they said we're going to start out with 60 and then move to 100. And
Really? Because my big question is, can you find, do those people exist? Can you find those people?
Well, you know, we just had this conversation yesterday. I was at People's Trust, and you know, there's 10,000 people that get on the interstate and head south every day.
Yeah.
Beta pays a good wage. You know, can they lure those people away from the jobs in Chittenden County?
Talking about that for a few years.
Yeah.
Key.
And I'd like to think that if the pay and benefits are on par or better, they should be able to draw some of those people off the interstate.
Yeah. Do you feel you've made some progress on that very issue, or kind of hard to say?
It's hard to say. I think the easier one to judge is we're bringing people into the county for sure, more so than what we used to. That number's at 4,500. So the
coming from out of the county for jobs every day.
Yeah. Wow. So that's probably the easier one to sort of figure out what the impact is.
Yeah.
So.
Roger, just got my quarterly water sewer bill as a longtime St. Albans city resident, and your very newsy mayor's message getting into a lot of stuff. And
you're critiquing my grammar.
Not critiquing, but I give you credit. As you're quick to acknowledge, you like to talk about good, positive things, and there's plenty of that going on, but you also get into other, you know, some of the not so great things, just public safety issues and stuff. Boy, do you feel, and again, everybody, it's not like St. Albans is any different from probably any other place, but just public safety in particular, just concerns about that, homelessness issues. Do you feel that's impacting quality of life around?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So no doubt.
Yeah,
So that's obviously a big concern to you.
Yeah, that's...
So no doubt, huh?
I think as I look back over my 6.5 years,
Wow.
this is the toughest issue.
Really? Yeah.
No, without a doubt.
Wow.
You know, when you throw in the lack of impact our state's attorneys have, and if you look at what judges are doing within the court system,
Just catch and release. Every day on radio I'm hearing just unbelievable stories about
and
the
based
dozens
on,
of times that people grab somebody and they're out again.
Yep, and based on the legislative changes that were made 6 years ago, and even the governor will tell you he signed off on it, but to this day he will tell you he never thought that the impact would be what it is in terms of crime. Tomorrow there's I cannot make it, but there's a press release with Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns, or a press conference to talk about ongoing public safety issues. Not
really.
And people point the finger at St. Albans. It's not St. Albans. It is St. Albans, but it's every other community.
Yeah,
I mean, when you see a small town like South Royalton making the news because of public safety.
No, is that right? I didn't catch that.
I was on
Really,
Channel
South
3. They had a community forum that was full, and
I got to think it's every. Yeah, it's
the legislature needs to act on this.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it'll get much worse, much faster.
Wow.
This is the talk of the town.
Yeah.
And the frustrating thing for me is that everything that we, city manager, city hall, the staffing, committees around for the city committees, everything we've done to get to this point, the city looks great.
Yeah.
Tourism is up, a lot of activity downtown.
Yeah.
And if we can't correct this somehow, we're going to start taking steps backwards.
Wow.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And for those who don't, I'm a volunteer mayor. I have a real job, but I'm spending.
Volunteer mayor who gets paid zero, not 1 cent, to the surprise of anybody watching us for the first time.
But I'm probably spending 2 to 3 hours a day on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I got calls I have to return this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's nonstop.
So again, and the type of crime, just we're talking, I mean, break-ins and stuff, or what do we?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a good side to this, which take it with a grain of salt.
Not so much wicked, serious crime,
Right.
but
You know, not terrible. I mean, there are some. You had the stabbing down on Lower Weldon Street, but the more the consistent complaints are cars being broken into, but not smashed windows. The individuals just check. If the car's open, they'll go through it.
yeah, happened to me at my house some months ago.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Stupid me. One of my old Corollas is very hard to lock, but yeah, someone went through my car.
Same with us.
All right.
We've got a car that the door doesn't lock.
Wow.
So if they find it unlocked, they'll rifle through it, see what they can find, see what they can take. Shoplifting still continues to be an issue. You know, ordinance type stuff, sleeping in the park, doing drugs in public.
Homelessness, still some encampment. I know one encampment got taken away, but is that?
Well, multiple have been. So we just cleaned another one out on Lemnod Drive.
Really?
That's the third one the city's been involved with. I understand. I didn't see the meeting, but I think the town had some public comments relative to some encampments in the town as well. You know, the one we took down at Food City, I had an informal conversation with one of the Food City employees, and they thought theft had gone down about 80% since we cleaned up that encampment. And the frustrating people say, well, where are they supposed to go? That's a good question. Where are they supposed to go? No one wants them in their backyard. You know, people were like, why don't you just leave them alone down at Food City? Well, that's easy to say if you don't live on Pine Street, if you don't live on Maple Street, and you don't have people going in your backyard and stealing stuff on a regular basis or knocking on your doors, asking for money. It's easy when it's not in your backyard. But have it in your backyard and see how you feel about having an encampment there.
Yeah, City PD again started patrolling, covering St. Albans town again on July 1st. How's City PD doing staffing-wise these days? We
were down one. I think it was due to an injury. But I had the conversation with the city manager. And the crimes unit is up and running.
So the street crimes unit is back?
Yeah, just barely. It is back, but it just got started here. But I spoke to the city manager. We should start looking at hiring 2 new officers now, and two is minimal. But hiring 2 now to get them through all the training so they'll be ready to go when spring comes around.
So it takes, almost half.
6 to 8 months.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know that for us, the expectation is when the cold weather comes, things will quiet down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no one's out using the park. No one's going to be eating on Main Street. We don't have concerts, a farmer's market. We're not going to have, a number of that's not happening. Yeah. So you won't be getting the reports. But as I tell people, back in May, it wasn't even close to this bad.
Is that right?
In my opinion, you knew who the troublemakers were and where they were. But now there's been an explosion of new people that we haven't seen before. Wow. So yeah, it's frustrating to say the least. We had 40, 50 people at the meeting, our council meeting on Monday night.
I saw that. Wow.
People express their concerns, looking for solutions. So you talked about Brad Ferlin. Brad and I sat with Melinda White yesterday, having conversations. But you can do all you want. We can bring on more police officers. Yeah. We can have more arrests. We can do more ordinances. But until the court system and corrections, I learned at that meeting, corrections is playing a role in this too. They don't keep them any longer than they want.
Really.
And then they're getting dropped off in the city or town with no resources, no, and so the first thing they do is they steal a car and they drive to Burlington and whatever. So
that sounds pretty.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating. It's And as I said in my letter, and I said it at Monday night, there used to be an empathy. There used to be there was a sympathy and patience for some. When we were never overrun with homeless.
Yeah.
People remember Roger, who rode his bike and slept up under the interstate bridge. And there was a few others, and
but they were that was the exceptional story.
yeah, they weren't we weren't inundated. There was half a dozen that might have been homeless coming and going.
Yeah.
But now, whether it's the a lot of it is associated with the drug addicts stealing to get their drugs. There's a lot of issues of that nature. But it's really seemed to have gotten bad. It's gotten worse every ensuing month, in my opinion.
And shoplifting just sounded like it was just crazy. That's still, and legislature, I think, made some changes. I'm not sure the changes.
Yeah, they made some changes.
A whole lot.
Yeah, no, there's some changes.
I mean, the craziest one was what? You have to steal over, $900 to kick it into a felony?
Yeah, anything less is a misdemeanor. The other one that I've heard a few stories about is squatters. Squatters moving into vacant homes or vacant condos, and I mean, go figure. And you have no right. You have no right to get them out or force them out.
Really?
You have to. Many cases, you buy them out.
Really?
But if someone moves in, yeah. If someone moves into an apartment or a condo or a house, in my opinion, that's breaking and entering. I mean, you go in, you arrest them, and you take them to jail. But police, for whatever reason, the legislature, the wording doesn't allow for them to do that. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and whether it gets done with our progressive legislature. Yeah. And I stress all the time, people need to go to legislators. It doesn't matter if it's Franklin County or state offices or federal offices. They need to have the conversation until they come to a solution.
Well, and you wonder how long Phil Scott's going to hang around. Talk about getting frustrated. He seems to just get increasingly frustrated.
I think the key to that's going to be, will he be able to sustain a veto after the November election? Yeah,
it sure sounds like things aren't changing in the House. I guess Senate might have a little more question about it.
Yeah, I've heard the same, which amazes me. But there's no...
Well, talk about another maybe pessimistic passport agency. Are you any less pessimistic about possibly hanging on to the passport agency?
This is a good show today, Richard. I haven't heard much. Still in limbo.
But you seem to be pretty resigned that it ends up in Chittenden County at some point.
I'd like to be optimistic that that it ends up here, but.
Doesn't look or sound good.
Past history has shown that their mind's made up.
Yeah. But it might be a year or two down the road, or is it time?
26, I've heard.
Yeah.
A year and a half. But we've been through this before, and so.
And the old Gil Tabor complex, USCIS, down the belly folks are there, but just pretty much a warehouse.
But they did they did respond to the RFP for the passport agency.
Oh, is that right?
Which, once again, this is me with sharing my common sense, which probably won't go far. But I mean, the building was secure for immigration. Yeah, it shouldn't take much to secure it for the passport agency.
So they're still pondering another facility for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So there has an upstairs, downstairs. It's 20,000 square feet. I mean, have fencing around it. I mean, it seems like it would work, but I'm sure we will.
Was that the one proposal in Franklin County?
No, the city proposed building one down on Federal Street, and then they looked at the old railroad building. I think their preference is to reuse instead of building. Yeah. So we shared the railroad building.
But there've been a bunch of proposals, I can only assume, coming out of
Yeah, there's a bunch
County.
from Chittenden County as well,
Yeah,
and so we'll see what the outcome is.
yeah. Health of downtown, again, we're talking about issues like shoplifting, which doesn't make life easier, obviously, for retailers, but downtown hanging in reasonably well, or?
Yeah, reasonably well.
Reasonably.
You know, it's we're getting a bad rap, so you know.
Is that right, just back to the crime issues?
Crime and loitering and vagrancy and
Huh.
you know, just behavior.
But it's in, as you say, is St. Albans any much different than any other place?
No, but I think people sometimes come to St. Albans thinking it
Yeah.
is, and then have a rude awakening when they, you know,
Yeah.
I've received emails from folks that had friends come up and they were in the park trying to take pictures of the fountain and the flowers,
Yeah.
and were just intimidated by.
I guess I've heard some part, I guess it came up at the very well-attended forum and stuff,
Right.
even some of the farmers market vendors having some concerns.
So and yeah, so we've heard from that perspective as well.
Yeah,
And I understand, I get that I'm a male and things are different.
yeah,
But when I do walk through the park, I haven't encountered any issues per se. And once again, I strongly repeat, I know I realize I'm a male and it's probably different
Sure.
than a female.
sure.
But they've been, you know, people have asked them to, city staff or whoever, asked them, the people in the park, the loiterers, pick their stuff up, throw their trash away, and they've been receptive to that.
Yeah.
But I can see where people would be intimidated.
Yeah.
You know, the park isn't that place you go to have lunch anymore, as it
Yeah.
is now. But
Yeah.
hopefully we can get our arms around it and try to figure this out.
Yeah.
But it's a daunting problem. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people, and the council's not necessarily on this page, but a lot of people want to keep offering services. And the council's hesitant because we have so many services here. Now we're the attraction spot, right? They're all,
Yeah.
the individuals are coming here because they do get meals at Martha's Kitchen. They can get housing
Huh.
or at Tim's house when there's not a waiting list.
Yeah.
They can get tents at CVOEO, so they can get money from the state of Vermont. They can get a cell phone, so they come here. This is where all the services are,
Yeah.
and we're of the belief that
Interesting.
no, we don't want any more services. We need surrounding communities to pick up the slack a little bit.
Yeah. And obviously, nobody else in Franklin County, no other place has anything.
There's a few food shelves, you know, Enosburg has one, and
Yeah.
George, I think, and Swanton does. But in terms of services,
St. Albans
there's
is
no
the,
beds,
place.
there's no, yeah. So,
And of course, Vermont gets that rap in general about being a place that offers a lot to folks
Right.
like that and people, coming into Vermont.
Yep.
Boy, sounds like a real daunting
do
situation.
you have any upbeat stuff you want to talk about, Richard?
How about the community swimming pool? Good, very good summer for the pool.
Yeah, I think so. It was hot and rain didn't deter a lot of people, but yeah, I think the pool, it wasn't, I haven't been up recently, but actually the dome, I haven't been by, the dome should be going up any day now.
Yeah.
Should be closing. You might know more than I. But I think
I caught the Ollie lecture last Wednesday, and it was still a little ahead, but it sounds like that should
I
be
think
pretty
the
close.
dome's going up soon.
Yeah. But that you're pretty happy with how that project.
Yeah, I think
turned out.
everyone. You know, I think we took some heat on Facebook about cost, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Of course,
I mean,
your hope initially was St. Albans Town would jump in.
Right.
Of course, you lost a narrow vote in the town.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we would.
But no, Hardak. It sounds like that's tremendous. Even a lot more future potential for the place. But
Yeah, for
one
sure.
question: having gone to the Ollie lecture, the Wednesday lecture last week, the access. I realize we're talking bucks here, but any thought to paving the access road into Hardak, or is that the?
No, well, that was in the original budget
Oh,
for
it
the pool,
was.
and it's when we were over budget.
Oh,
That's
really?
one of the first things that went.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's always on the
What, the cost of that, you got a rough cost for that?
Oh, I don't know what that was, but it was.
Sure, it's gone up in recent years.
I know we have a parking lot in Enosburg for work. It can park 25 cars. Paving estimate was $75,000.
Is that right?
So
Wow.
75 might cover your parking
Wow.
where the dog park is.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's.
Yeah, talking to officials in Swanton and stuff, just talking about, paving projects over the summer, resurfacing, and the price. I think Sean Atkins mentioned the price tag in the town, but incredible just what it costs to pave a mile and stuff.
Yep. So.
City financial shape, or starting a new fiscal year not too long ago. City's in decent shape finance-wise.
I mean, over the years we've gotten good bond interest rates.
Yeah.
Interest rates have been good for the city, so that's been beneficial for sure.
Housing, a lot of how the Cathedral Square project moving.
Yeah,
along.
it looks good, I think.
And I just saw, I guess, a reference in the Vermont Business Magazine story about Franklin County, the Lake Street Grant Butterfield's project, due for a December completion.
Yeah.
Interesting.
72 units, mostly workforce housing.
Wow.
There is some housing for homeless, so not more than likely individuals who
Presumably
have jobs.
not people who they're grabbing from an encampment.
Right.
But I'm
It's
sure
more-
that now some of my friends mentioned that. They seem to be less than thrilled about that.
Yeah, no, it's people who have jobs, who can't find, might be living in their cars. So those would be the ones that they'd be focused on.
Yeah.
But employed, I believe all would be gainfully employed.
Yeah.
So that's and those rumors get flying, but we've had many conversations with Grant relative to security. Getting buzzed in with badges and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Boy, I got to thank the good folks down at Beverage Mart, Maple Fields, Food City.
Food City for sure. We've had conversations with them. They had a rough go with the encampment, but they're excited about the potential for the 72 apartments. To be a couple hundred yards away. Yeah. So, so they are excited.
Big and housing hopes plans around City Hall. Any movement on that or not?
I haven't had the conversation with the city manager. I think he's moving forward, but the majority of our time is being spent on the public safety issues.
Wow.
I mean, Trudy Coffey is chairing a committee. It's meeting every 2 weeks. We just had Bob Bagley from Martha's Kitchen come and talk to us.
Wow.
We have a lady from Restorative Justice coming next week. And we're just spending almost all our.
Wow.
And we redirected some funding that would have been used for. I can't remember where we pulled money. For downtown, downtown marketing and whatnot, and then we pulled that to help but to do some patrolling of the parking garage, that type of thing. So that's where we're at with the focus is on the public safety aspect.
Glad I'm so on top of things. Went down to the farmer's market Saturday, which I usually do, and walk into the park from the library. Wow, what's going on here? I'm glad. I'm so clueless. I didn't even realize a car show was happening. Pretty nice car show too.
Yeah, no. Before we got started, you and I talked
down to about 35 seconds.
How busy there. If you couldn't find something to do on Saturday, something was wrong. Because, I mean, I couldn't make People's Trusted their shred day. You had the derelict car. I was at the Bob Ashton golf tournament. There was a festival going on.
Georgia had their fall fest. Enosburg this Saturday.
The new corn maze opened up. I mean, there's a ton of stuff for people to do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, on that note, thanks for your time again, St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith, guesting with us. Thanks to producer Alan Cunningham, and we appreciate your giving us attention here on Northwest Access TV. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. See you next time.